Hello, I hope you can hear me. I am literally in the Denver airport. I said I'd be in Denver this week. I'm waiting on a teammate to fly in so we can go to training. So I figured why not take the time to do our recap video now. So we focused on the 3 habits of an effective missionary disciple. And so we're just going to go over those real quick. I expect this to be a quicker video recap. But the first one is divine intimacy. And what that is our relationship with the Lord and making sure that we put that as a priority. Particularly, you can't give what you don't have, especially when it comes to evangelization. So making sure that you have a relationship with God before you go out and encourage others too. Some notable things that we talked about was, it comes back to Acts 2:42, which we talked about at the beginning, which is prayer, fellowship, the sacraments, and forming our minds with the teachings of Christ. And then also someone was saying that if we want God's love, or we must want God's love, to be able to recognize it. So we have to know what we are looking for. And so, yeah. And then the other is if you love someone, you will spend time with them. And so that gives the same for God. If you love him, you'll spend time with him and prioritize your life in a way that you get to spend time with him. And then we moved on to authentic friendship, which we did a lot of a couple weeks ago when we were talking about incarnational evangelization. But yeah, so and the habits of missionary disciple is someone who is authentic and they care and they are present and they are investing in people for the sake of their souls and not trying to get something out of them. And so, yeah, it's just really great, and they spend time with people that they want to invest in, and they just show that they care. And then clarity, conviction about the Little Way of Evangelization. So basically what that is, ooh, my laptop's falling off my lap. Basically, I'm trying to see if there's a good definition in the book, or if I should just give you mine. But, yeah, we'll just go for it. So, 2 Timothy 2:2, Paul says, "What you have heard from me before many witnesses, entrust to faithful men who will be able to teach others so." So what that basically means is that not only are we telling people about the faith, but we're teaching them how to go out and do the same. So we're equipping them to go out and evangelize as well. And I think that's been a big part of this course that we've been doing, has been talking about how do we evangelize, with the hopes that you can actually take this book, and I said at the very beginning, this book is a tool that you can use with other people so that you can pass it on to them. So how this kind of looks is an old term that we use in Focus. It's called spiritual multiplication. Maybe you've heard it, maybe you haven't. It's kind of outdated. But what it means is we have this chart. And so if this person here is the first evangelizer, they are going to evangelize to 3 dots. But not only are they evangelizing to 3 dots, they're equipping those 3 dots to evangelize to 3 more dots. So this guy here is the second person. He can evangelize. And this third guy here can evangelize to 3 more. And then it keeps going. And what is great about spiritual multiplication, or the Little Way of incarnational evangelization, is that every single person is accompanied and walked with personally. It's great that we have mega preachers, Father Mike Schmidt, the Pope, Catholic speakers who they can reach audiences that maybe we can't on a typical day-to-day basis. But when someone has a conversion through one of these big mega speakers, if they have a question, they have no way of talking to them. They have no one personally walking with them. They have no one asking them, hey, how's your faith life going? Have you prayed today? There's no one checking in with them about their faith. And so that's what's really cool about personally accompanying someone, is that you get to walk with them and equip them to walk with others. And so what is awesome about it is if you do the math, and in 1 cycle, you've reached 1 person, this top guy. In 2 cycles, you've reached 4, these 3 and this one. In 3 cycles, you've reached 13. So all of these dots kind of down here, plus the ones above it. In 4 cycles, all these little arrows, I didn't even draw the dots, and everyone above is 40. But in 33 cycles, if this continues to happen, you reach 8 billion. So that's just awesome. And now, I'll be honest, it's not a perfect model, unfortunately. But the idea is that if we're each doing our part, we're evangelizing in a way that is sustainable, and it's the way Jesus did it. Jesus had his 12 disciples, but of those, he had Peter, James, and John, who were closest. And then from those, he had the other ones that were with him. I want to say it was like 24 or 48. That's completely a guess. It's written somewhere in the Bible. But yeah, so it's like Jesus couldn't spend individual time with all of them, but he'd had Peter, James, and John, and then he told them what to do, and then they would tell the rest, and they would tell the rest, and they would tell the rest. And then we wrapped up the conversation talking about the chart that we discussed the week prior. So I'm going to pull it back up. So this is the Win, Build, Send chart. And we call it a depth chart in Focus. What the actual pages mean is in my previous video, but what it's for is you write names of people you want to pray for on it, if you think they're in a win, a build, or a send stage. And it's not to categorize people and say, oh, well, I think so-and-so is a build. But instead, it's how do we walk with and accompany them? If someone's in the win stage, what do I need to do to continue to win them to Christ? Do I need to invite them to the parish picnic? Do I need to just ask them, hey, do you know anything about Jesus? Maybe that's your win. That's your step. Like, what's your next step? The build. Should I invite them to that talk going on about the Eucharist at Mass or after Mass? Like, maybe that's a build thing. And so it's like, what do you have to do? Are you going to check in with someone and be an accountability partner for prayer? Those would be build. And then send. The last one is, what do I need to do to accompany this person to send them on mission? So that is more of what this chart is for. It's not to categorize people, but it's a tool to help us remember, one, and first and foremost, to pray for them. And then two, to use it as a tool of evangelization, of how to walk with someone. So that's what it's for. And I kept one every single time I was on campus. We used to keep a big list of names of every student we had ever met, not categorized into Win, Build, Send, but as a depth chart, meaning these are people to pray for. I keep one in my journal, the back of my journal, of all the people I've met since moving back to North Carolina. And these are people to pray for and people to hopefully invite into something with me. And it's actually worked. I was praying for the names and I was like, oh, I forgot I met that one girl. I should invite her to this women's hangout that I'm doing with some other friends. And so that's where it's really cool, is it's in a place that's visual and you can see it. So that's what we talked about. Raymond is going to do an awesome job leading you this week. And then I will be back the week after when I am back from my summer training. So hope you're doing well. Sorry this is a little chaotic in the airport, but know of my prayers for y'all. Bye.